everyone. I cannot believe that we are already into week 14. That seems crazy. I say that every week, but it seems like time is just flying by. So if you are just joining us, we are doing the Black Sheep Temperature Blanket Along, and I am making one square each week because that's all I can keep up with by the time I do all of the other things that I am using as my blanket square instead of doing a daily temperature. But I am still marking down all of my daily temperatures, so if I decide to do something with them, I can go back and do that. But I decided that Wednesday was going to be my day, so I have Wednesday written down here. And this week, my Wednesday temperature was 64 degrees, which means that thanks to my handy-dandy little yarn punch and sample guide, I know that 64 degrees falls under faded curtains. So when I originally set this up, I split my 60 degrees from 60 to 64 and 65 to 69 into 2 different colors. All of my others I'm doing at 10 degrees, but I thought I would need the extra, although it hasn't really proven to be that way. But anyway, that means that we are going to be using Faded Curtain, which is my lovely Kokomo Yarns Mian cotton, which is a fingering weight cotton, which is lovely. And I'm also using size 3 needles because unlike the free pattern, which I gave along with this, which is my blanket along pattern, we are not using the Gossypium cotton or size 4 needles. But that's the beauty of patterns, is that you can change them and make them your own. So anyway, let's take a look at what we are doing this week and pick out our pattern. My Mian cotton yarn and my day that I'm going to do my temperatures, which is my Wednesday temps. Then of course there is my lost jewelry for 50-59, but we were up here at 64 degrees, so that puts us in our Faded Curtains colorway. And again, I have marked down all of my temperatures, although I should mark off that I've done these. I didn't do that. Okay, we are all the way into April. It's our first April square. And let's take a look at the pattern. Let's see. So we have my original pattern called for the Erica Knight Gossypium cotton. Not worried about that. US 4 needles. Again, we've replaced those. And we have already done several of the patterns this year. I'm really going to have to get cracking soon and design some new patterns. So we've already done the broken rib, bordered squares, and the checkered basket stitch. Chevron stripes, the cloverleaf eyelet, and filigree. We've done flying geese, as well as interlocking lattice, but I haven't done the horizontal parallelograms. That one could be fun. I also haven't done imitation lattice or little checks yet, although I have done stripes. Let's see, what other options do I have? We could do lozenge. Lozenge looks fun. Now, lozenge is very similar to the horizontal parallelogram, but on a smaller scale. So you can see here that I have sort of bigger, what's the word that I want? Bigger pieces, and we get a parallelogram because of that. So I have bigger triangles here that create parallelograms versus the lozenge, which makes these cute little triangles. So that could be fun. I also have paitsu, which is super fun because of course we have tiny little cables as well as twisted stitches. And the ridged, I haven't done anything on this page yet. Well, you know, maybe we should just go ahead and do the lozenge pattern, because then I can check off something on this page. So we're going to do this one right here for our 14th square. So let's get cracking on lozenge. So what does my pattern say here? I need to cast on 32 stitches with my color. Remember, we're ignoring the color recommended here. I need to follow my chart and repeat the stitches between the red lines or the stars. So if you like to follow the written directions, I have them over here. And remember, I have printed in black and white, so we are going to just assume that those lines are red. And I'm going to repeat them 5 times. And then repeat rows 1 through 4 again before I bind off. Now I may find that I actually have to repeat my entire chart 6 times, but I'll find that out when I get there. And part of this is just making sure that your gauge makes your squares square. So that's the important thing. All right, let's cast on. I like to use a long tail cast on for most of my squares, but you can of course now I am going to just go ahead and follow my chart. So let's see what my chart says. We are going to slip that first stitch and then purl 1, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, and then repeat. Because remember, we're going to repeat the red lines 5 times, or the stars. And we'll repeat the chart at least 5 times, although it may end up being 6. So to do that, we're just slipping that first stitch, purl, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, purl, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, purl, knit 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty much all the way across, and you shouldn't have anything left over except for that final stitch. So if you have more than 1 stitch left over at the end, you either have too many stitches or 3 and 4, you counted wrong. So it's always a question. Now on this chart, we are just doing knits and purls. It's a very simple chart, but I love the way that simple knits and purls, when put together, can create patterns and pictures. And we'll see a lot of shadow patterning with this one because of the action of that smooth knit and that bumpy purl. Here on row 2 now, we're going to slip that first stitch. We are going to purl 1, 2, 3, and then do a knit 2 because now we're trying to build those triangles out. So it is important to remember that you are going to be patterning on both sides of this one, not just one side. So you have to pay attention and make sure that you continue to, in this case, remove knits and add purls, or however you want to think about it. Your balance changes so that you get triangles of each. Ooh, I just did the wrong stitch there. Let me back that up. There we go. So 3 purls, 2 knits, 3 purls, 2 knits, and so forth. And we'll just keep doing this all the way until we get to the end, and our last stitch will be a purl stitch there at the end. I'm just going to keep following my chart all the way up, following my knits and my purls until I have 1 repeat completely done. So let's get cracking. Now I have done all 8 rows, and you can see my tiny little lozenges and how you kind of get that shadow effect, which is really fun. You get these great little triangles and these nice little shadows, and it's just amazing what some knits and purls can do in your knitting to really show off the versatility of the knit and purl stitch. I just love the little patterns here in the lozenge. Now I'm going to go ahead and repeat my entire chart at least 4 more times, possibly 5, because I know that I was going to repeat rows 1 through 4 again anyway before I bind off, because I am going to try to make sure that my square is as, well, square as I possibly can make it. So I'll be back in a little while. Okay, I am back, and so is Mr. Marshmallow, and I have a finished square to show you. So this is the lozenge pattern, and you can really see the little triangles and how you get those shadows and shapes. And anyway, I love playing with knits and purls because you can do so much with them. Not that cables and lace aren't fun too, but it is amazing what you can do with just, you know, the basics of knit and purl and patterning. But anyway, and of course the front side and the back side look pretty similar, right? It's the reverse. So I know that this is the front side because I know that this was my bind off. That's how I tell. But anyway, I just really like how it turned out. So I did end up doing, Marshmallow jumped off my lap. Anyway, I did end up doing 6 repeats of my chart, not 5.5, before I bound off. And that was just to help make my square a little more, square. So again, you may find that you need to knit a few more rows, a few less rows, depending on your own personal gauge and the size of the needle that you're using and the yarn that you're using. So that's just, that's something that you may find. And it's totally fine. But I had a lot of fun with that lozenge pattern. I can't believe we're already 14 weeks in. I have my pattern and my temperature recordings and my thermometer with my yarn so that I know what my squares are supposed to be, all packed up and ready to go again for next week. So I'm going to remind you to make sure that you've subscribed to the channel, like the videos, tell your friends about us, make sure that you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Oh, Ben Marshmallow is back, Mr. Marshmallow. So that we can continue to bring you these fun videos. I don't have any plans to stop them anytime soon, but it does make it more worthwhile to me when I know that you all are actually watching and enjoying them. So yeah. 14 weeks in, make sure that you are following us. And I am sending out newsletters. We have a giant clearance section right now, so make sure that you go check out that clearance section. We are trying to cut back on the inventory before Tina takes off on her adventure. She's going on an Arnie and Carlos cruise. So we're trying to cut down on the inventory, cut down on the yarn. So make sure that you are looking at all of that. Takes home something good. We are going to turn our focus to more in-house dyed yarns, as well as our lace tools and books. So we are not going to carry as many outside yarns. So make sure that you just go like grab some of the fun stuff before Marshmallow tried to knock over the camera, before they are completely gone. We have a bunch of stuff at 40% off. So really good discount. Yeah, and kind of what's there is what's there. So please take some home and help us out. Anyway. I will see all of you next week for week 15. I can't believe week 15. That's just crazy to me. Crazy, I'm telling you. But anyway, until next time, please take care of yourself. Remember to use that hashtag Black Sheep Fiber Emporium, hashtag Black Sheep Pearly Pirates, so that we know that you are participating in our blanket along. Don't forget about the Facebook group as well, and enter our second quarterly contest, because that's just all kinds of fun. Anyway, I will see you all next time. Please take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and craftually. And make sure that you're doing that 15 minutes of crafting every day. I got my 15 minutes in today because I did more than 15 minutes, but I updated my tatted table runner, and I made sure and did my square for the week. So anyway, I will see you all later. Bye.